Okay, let me just make the announcement. This is the St. Patty's Day wreath with 21-inch mesh. We're going to be doing a ruffle method. We're now recording, so I cannot be responsible for whatever you say. What I'm doing right now is, Crystal, I got the shine from the Dollar Tree. If you saw it there, it's just the St. Patty's Day. But I'm not going to use the hat and the legs. I'm just going to use the middle part. But, you know, if you saw it there and you want to use it, that's totally fine. Honestly, any of my classes really are more about teaching you the method as opposed to the theme. You can take any one of my methods and make it any theme that you want. You don't have to do St. Patrick's Day. You can do whatever you want. So, and this is kind of a unique method, and I'm glad that you're here for this one because
I'll be here for some of it, not all of it.
That's fine. That's fine. You sound like you're outside.
Yes, I am outside.
Okay, but you're going to get the video, so don't worry about it. If you need to, I'm going to be recording this anyway. Whether people attend the live or not, I needed to get this recorded. So, you know, it doesn't really matter to me how many people jump on for the live. I needed to get this recorded. So,
okay.
But what's nice about this method is that if you've used 21-inch mesh before, you probably just use it, what, for like the poof method? Is that normally what you use your 21-inch mesh for?
Say that I normally cut it.
You cut your 21-inch mesh, like cut it in half, like down the middle?
Yeah, I cut it like, sometimes I do it like that, and then sometimes I'll make it into 6 inches. It depends on which one I'm doing.
Yeah, and I don't know what kind of luck you've had with that, but I tried that once, and I never did it again because it just was crazy.
Not good because it
No, so when you see this is going to be like amazing to you, I hope, because I never try to cut 21-inch mesh in half again because it's just going to fray.
Yeah, it frays all over.
By good quality mesh or bad quality mesh, it's going to fray. So this method, this is a 21 by 10-inch piece. But what we're going to do instead of, and we're going to do a ruffle, but it's kind of neat the way this works is because it's like a one-on-one class here. What you're going to do with this mesh, this is 21 by 10 inches, okay, so I cut it the long way, is you can either do one of two things.
My ruffles, I leave it like that for my ruffle.
And what do? You ruffle it up this way?
Yeah.
Okay, and you're still going to get crazy frays, right?
Yep.
So watch this, okay? You can do this either one of two ways. You can either fold it the long way, like this, okay?
Okay.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to fold it over again and then pinch it in the middle. And that's what you're going to attach to your wreath. You're going to have
I like that.
A poof on one side, and it's almost like a spiral. It's not really a ruffle on the other side. And I actually learned this from Trendy Tree. You can either fold it or you can roll it. But you want to keep the cut ends on the bottom. So I think I'm going to roll it. And so you fold it in half again, like I said, whether you're folding it or you're rolling it. And you just pinch it right in the middle. And that's what you're going to attach to your wreath. And I usually do Cooper pipe cleaner.
Go.
And I lay the first one down parallel to the wreath form.
Oh, so I can leave it just like that?
Yep, yep. And what you're going to want to do, yep, is once you get it on your wreath form, then you can kind of pull your poof out a little bit. But wait until you get it on your wreath form. And don't pull it too much because you're going to end up, you know, everyone will tell you all mesh frays, and it's true. But the more you handle it once it's on the wreath.
Whenever I'm doing it, I have to stop and I have to sweep up.
Yeah, it's crazy. I cannot stand frays, and I can't tell you how many wreaths I've ripped apart because of frays. But in the time I've been doing this, I've learned a lot of tricks. Now, this is actually something called jute mesh. Have you heard of poly jute mesh before?
Nope.
It's actually just regular deco mesh, but it has like burlap running through it. That's burlap. Okay, so this you cannot cut with the wood burning tool. I'm not sure if you've ever used the wood burning tool before.
but I have a new baby, so it kind of stinks, so I haven't used it.
It does stink. It does smoke a little bit, but this you cannot cut with the wood burning tool. I love the natural look of this mesh, but it does fray like crazy. So this is a good way to use this. And because my cut ends are kind of tucked inside, I really can't see the frays. Where did my mesh go? Here it is. But what we're going to do is we're going to do 2 of these per tie. So we're going to get another piece, and I'm just going to roll it again because I feel like that hides the cut ends a little bit better. And just again, you can see how easy that is. So it's kind of like a poof, like spiral, really. Now I'm going to put the second one in across. Now you can either do your poof on the inside or you can do your poof facing on the outside. What I'm going to do, because I'm trying to think, I'm always thinking ahead because I put ribbon all around the outside. And I want to make sure that my ribbon's going to lay right. And if I have a big poof sticking out here, it may not lay right. So I think I'm going to go ahead and put my, you know what, I'm going to put my poof this way. And you're going to see what I mean when I add the ribbon. Second piece across with the poof going out like that. And I don't know if you saw the video that I posted on how to add your pipe cleaners. I'm not sure if you need that or not, but.
Yeah, probably, because what I do is I just put it around the mesh and then I turn around and I put it on the wreath. I don't never set it up because I don't know how.
Yeah, it's a lot easier this way to set it up ahead of time. And there's 18 pipe cleaners. And what I do is I just put 8 on the inside. This is a Dollar Tree form. I wrap it right around the 2 bars on the inside, and you pull it really tight. That way they don't slide. And you have to use these fuzzy ones because if you use the tinsely ones from the Dollar Tree, they're going to slide all over the place and drive you crazy. So 8 on the inside and 10 on the outside, about 4 inches apart. So this is how it's going to look. I have 2 pieces of mesh on there. They're just crisscrossing each other. And that's all you do. That's all you do all the way around. I guess everybody's busy, Crystal, because nobody else is joining us, but that's okay.
I know, and I'm so mad my phone's about to die.
Well, that's all right. You're going to get the video. That's part of the deal. So I may just be here alone, but that's okay. So we're just going to do this all the way around.
I have been waiting to join your video. Obviously, I've been texting you, so I've been waiting to join your video forever.
You what?
And now my phone's going to die, and I'm running out the door.
That's okay. You're going to get the video. Don't worry about it. So I'm just going to do this all the way around. Now, here's the thing, though, quickly. I can't push a magic button after class is over and send everybody the video. What I have to do is I have to download it from Zoom, which is what you're in right now, obviously. And then I have to upload it to YouTube. I have a private YouTube channel, and you can only access the videos with the link. What I do is I send everybody a copy of the link.
What is it, through Bling?
No, it's YouTube. What do you mean? What's Bling?
I don't know. I didn't hear the last part you said.
I upload all my videos to YouTube, and you have to have the link to access the video. You can't go to my YouTube channel and then watch all my videos because it's a private channel.
Okay. Are you going to send that to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is it's not like an instantaneous thing. Like once I get done with the class, it's going to take me, a few hours. I have to wait till Zoom is done processing the video, and then I have to upload it to YouTube and all that. Yes.
No.
So.
Did you get it?
I'm only saying that because I used to get messages from people like immediately after class wondering why they didn't get the video, and that's why. It takes me a little while to get everything processed and stuff. So don't worry if you get pushed off. There's nobody here anyway because I don't ever normally do classes during the day. So I may very well just be sitting here talking to myself, which is totally fine. I talk to myself all the time anyway, so.
Okay. Yes, I've been waiting for your classes for like a week now.
And I know, when you're so close, you're only an hour away from me. You should just come to my house.
I know.
Bring wine. Teasing. I'm totally teasing.
Too bad I don't drink.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll make you coffee. Bring cookies.
I don't drink coffee. I drink lots of Dr. Pepper.
Oh, I love Dr. Pepper.
Yes.
Dr. Pepper actually and rum. But you don't drink, so that's all right. So again, it's an awesome way to use 21-inch mesh, and it makes a really, really full wreath too. So, and you don't have to use you can use this method for anything. You don't have to make a St. Patrick's Day wreath. You can do Easter, you can do 4th of July, you can do an everyday wreath. Like I said, my classes are more about teaching you the method and not so much the theme. And I'm a little bit behind. I know St. Patrick's Day is just like next week, but I've had some stuff going on, as we all do in our private lives. And, you know, I have a life, I have a family, I have other stuff going on. I wish I didn't. I wish I could just do this full time. And I've actually got Band-Aids on both of my thumbs because I cut my thumbs. So I figured don't ever handle a mesh if you have any sort of an injury on your hands.
Yes, I did that the first time making a wreath, and it hurt really bad.
It does.
So I have a question. So when I do my wreaths, I feel like I'm not putting enough like ribbon or deco tubing, or I don't know. Remember, did you see the Valentine or the St. Patrick's Day wreath I sent you?
I'll have to go back and look at it. A good rule of thumb.
Feel like I didn't.
Go ahead.
I feel like I didn't put enough stuff on it. Like when I look at everybody's else wreaths, they look really nice. And then I look at mine, it's just like, I don't want it to look cluttered.
Well, here's the thing. You're going to see a lot of wreath makers that totally overload their wreaths with ribbon. I don't like to do that. I like,
right.
You know, and you see that there's so much ribbon on there that you can't even see the mesh underneath. And I don't like that. Like, look how pretty this mesh is with the green
right.
in it. I don't want to totally cover that up. So normally what I do is, like, here's my ribbon. Like, here's my ribbon choices right here. I usually get 2 of the 2.5-inch ribbon. Okay, make sure you always get wired. You know that. I get 2 2.5-inch ribbons. Okay. And then I get 2 1.5-inch ribbons. Okay. So I'll put 1 of each in every tie, and I'll alternate. I'm just saying this in case your phone dies. So at this point, I just kind of have to decide what I want to put with what. I don't want to put the 2 shamrock together, so I'll probably put this one with this one. Now, I have 18 ties going around the outside, or pipe cleaners. What I'll do is I'll alternate. I'll put this one in one tie, I'll put this one in the next tie, and it actually works out perfectly, meaning that you're not going to come around and have 2 of the same ribbons next to each other, and that would drive me crazy. So the reason why I like to put ribbons in all of the outside is because it evens it out. Like, you can see how it's kind of lumpy right now and not very even. Doing the ribbon all around the outside like that, it just makes it just evens out your wreath. Now on the inside, I don't normally put ribbons in every tie, because if you have a sign, or we're going to put this big leprechaun guy in the middle here, it's going to hide some of the pipe cleaners. So I usually, maybe I'll put ribbon in every other pipe cleaner. I have to see how, when I put him in, how much room I have. So, and then I put embellishments, like I have these little green ornaments I'm going to stick on here and there, but I don't go crazy. You know, I like to be able to see the mesh. I don't like to totally cover up my mesh so you can't see it.
Right, but I don't know. The one that I sent you that I just made last week, I brought it to my job, and everybody at my job loves it. And I'm supposed to be making more, but the only problem I'm having is every Dollar Tree in Syracuse does not have the leprechaun hat and feet again.
I've got like 6 of them here. If you want one, I can mail it to you. I grabbed like a whole ton of them.
I went to every Dollar Tree, even in Baldwinsville and Camillus.
Wow.
And everybody is sold out.
Message me your address. I'll send you a couple in the mail. How many do you need? What's that?
A couple of them.
Just a
couple
couple?
of them. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Just message me your address. I'll send them to you. I only needed 1. I bought a whole bunch because I thought I was offering kits, and then for some reason I only had like 1 person that wanted the kit. So now I have a ton of them extra. So
Yeah, everybody loves the wreath I made last week, but like I cannot find any. When I went to the Dollar Tree, I should have couple. That's what I get a couple of each things, but I don't know for some reason why I didn't get it. I don't know.
I know I've done that too. I've kicked myself because I should have bought something and then I went back and it's gone. But
And everybody wants that same exact wreath that I made, and I'm
know.
like, oh God.
You're always going to be harder on yourself. You know, you're always going to think that your wreath isn't as good as everybody else's. I still think that way about mine, and I've been doing this. I don't know. I've only been working with Declamesh about 2 years. I used to make a lot of wreaths when my kids were little. But Declamesh wasn't around then. I mean, I'm old, I'm 53. So when my kids were little, all we did was like grapevine. And, you'd buy the fake pine base and put stuff on that for Christmas. But so when I first started getting back into wreathing again, Declamesh was all new to me. And I can't tell you how many wreaths I ripped apart and started over, but you're always going to be harder on yourself. And I'm a total perfectionist. So I can't tell you how many times I went back to a wreath and I moved something or I took something off or I added something else. So
Isn't Chuck E. Cheese that way?
don't be so hard on yourself.
Can't get over now. Don't think you can turn here. You can't.
I'm gonna go up that way and turn around. I got it. Look how she's doing that. That's a lot better than how I did it.
Yeah, but
I did it and it was fraying. Yeah, mine was fraying all over the place.
Well, this is still kind of fraying, but because I have the cut ends tucked underneath, you really can't see it. This jute mesh frays like crazy, trust me. But I'm not really. It's like
I normally go to the Dollar Tree or I'll go to Michael's. Like Michael's just had a sale for 50% off.
Don't buy Michael's mesh.
I already did. I bought every
I'm
color.
telling you right now, or if you're going to buy Michael's mesh, don't cut it. Michael's mesh is the worst. I hate to burst your bubble, but I would buy Hobby Lobby or Joann's over Michael's.
Yeah, I went to Hobby Lobby and I actually got all the ombre colors.
I love the ombre.
They're really pretty.
They are. But you see how I'm not really pulling at it a lot. Once you get it on there, I'm just sort of poofing out the poof part a little bit. But then that's it. Because the more you pull on it, the more it's going to fray. And, I know you mentioned that you did the ruffle this way. That's bad because you have all your cut ends here. You're going to have fray central. So.
Yes. It's when I say the fray is bad, it's bad.
I know. I hear you.
I literally.
You see how my cut ends are underneath?
Yep.
So they're being hidden. They're all hidden under there.
But I mean, like I said, I have a rotary cutter because at first I was using scissors. When I was using the scissors, I was actually new to it, and it was kind of my first reef I did, and the fraying was horrible, worse than ever. So I ended up going.
Go ahead.
I got on my group. I was asking people what they use, and they told me that they were using a rotary cutter or they used a wood burner. So I went and got the rotary cutter. That was doing fine. It's a lot better than what it was with scissors. And then I went and got the wood burner. But then when I used it one time, it smelled really bad. And like I said, with the baby, because my daughter's only 1 month.
Yeah.
So I don't want her inhaling all that stuff.
Right. No, I understand. I never really had a problem for some reason with it smelling really bad when I used it. But the thing of it is that a lot of people don't realize, I use scissors to cut this because the wood burning tool doesn't work. I would prefer to use scissors than the wood burning tool. And even though this sounds absolutely crazy, the reason why I would prefer to use scissors is because you can control how you're cutting it. Meaning, if you cut in between those grid lines, and you know what I mean by the grid lines, you see how the mesh has the little lines in it?
Yep.
You can cut in between those lines, you will not get as many frays. It's going to take you forever to do it. It's so much easier, I know, just to get your rotary cutter and do that.
So wait, so if I cut in between the lines, I won't have as many frays?
Correct. Yep, and you have to do the same thing with the wood burning tool. If you have the wood burning tool and you're just like zipping through it like you do with the rotary cutter, you're still going to have frays. You have to go through the in between the lines. That's the only way.
Stay here forever.
And again, it's going to take you forever, but in the long run, it's worth it. Like it took me forever to cut this mesh because I'm insane. And I had my scissors and I went slowly.
Yeah, I have OCD really bad.
Me too. But I went through the grid lines and it's not fraying as bad. It does still fray because this jute mesh does fray, but not as bad. So like you can see I'm still pulling some pieces off here.
Yeah.
But again, and you really don't do what I'm doing here. Don't pull it, cut it. Because it's like a sweater. If you go and pull it, it's just gonna keep unraveling. So trust me, I've learned the hard way how to get around all these issues. It's totally trial and error. I've even cut Dollar Tree mesh with the wood burning tool. But again, I know you don't want to, like I said, I don't really have a problem with the fumes. I don't really have the issue, and I don't know why. I see people complaining about that. I think it's because if you go too slow, your heat is really going to burn that mesh and make a fume. But if you go a little bit faster, it doesn't. So
Okay, I'll give you my tickets, okay?
Right.
I'm not going to have anybody else joining me today. You're getting a one-on-one lesson.
I know, and I feel bad because I have to go because now I'm at Chuck E. Cheese with the kids.
Yeah, Chuck E. Cheese. Go, have fun. I'll send you the video later, okay?
I will. That's my daughter saying she likes your wreath.
Oh, thank you. What's her name?
Her name's Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan. You can't see my face, but I'm here, but I don't have any makeup on, so.
She loves doing arts and crafts with me.
Oh, nice. How old is she?
She's 6.
Aw, my kids are all grown. My son's going to be 28. My younger daughter is 24, and my older one lives in Colorado. She's 26. So, but I can remember they're all 18 months apart, and I was a single mom, so I can definitely remember.
Yeah, I'm a single mom except for the baby. The baby's different. Me and her dad are still together.
Well, that's good.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to message you, and I will send you my address, and then I will wait for the video. I feel so bad. I've been waiting for this, but I thought it was going to be on last night.
Yeah, I know. We ended up going out to the casino last night, my son and I, for dinner. So that's why I moved it to today.
Okay, so I will message you.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Crystal. Have fun at Chuck E. Cheese.
I will. Thank you.
Bye. All right, so you guys, it looks like it's just me on here right now. Because I know whenever I do a last minute live or a class during the day, I take everybody by surprise that nobody shows up. But that's perfectly fine. Crystal is new. She just joined a couple of weeks ago, and she's excited. She's excited to learn. So, but again, I have to do this wreath anyway. I have to get this video done, so I'm just going to keep recording, and I'm going to keep this meeting room open in case anybody decides to jump on. And if you don't, that's okay. You're all going to get the video anyway. I know many of you have been with me for a while, and you've seen me do this method many, many times, but it really is a great way to use 21-inch mesh. And if you don't really like the way your poofs come out, which I don't really like the way my poofs come out, so hold on, I'm getting a text here. I like this method. And it's sort of like a poof. Hold on one second. Just got a photo. I love getting photos in the middle of the day, especially from people that I like. Kind of brightens my day. Sorry. All right. Head clear. I don't know if you guys heard my story. You guys have been with me for a while, so I can tell you my stories. A lot of you have been with me for quite a while, but because now I have to find stuff to talk about since I'm here by myself. And you can see what I'm doing so far. Just rolling up your mesh, pinching it in the middle. The first piece goes down parallel to the wreath form. Next piece goes across. It's up to you if you want to put your poof facing down or if you want your poof to face up. That's entirely up to you. I am a very big proponent of my ribbons laying nicely on the outside. So hopefully with me putting my poofs on the outside or facing out, my second piece, that my ribbons will lay nice. And then you crisscross the other piece, like I said. Hold on a second, I have to tell you my story. Because it's a really cool story, and I want you guys to hear it. You know, it's one of those, like, stories that you only see in the movies, and, you know, it happened to me. So basically, if you've been with me for a while, you know that I ended a long-term relationship back in October. Well, he ended it. I was madly in love. You know, I kind of thought he was the one. And but this is one thing about this jute mesh is it's burlap. So the phrase, not the phrase, but the fibers kind of go everywhere. But anyway, it did not end very well. He was not a very honest person, come to find out. Even after 10 years, you would think that I would have known he was honest or not so honest. But anyway, long story short, before I met him, I started dating him in 2009. So before I met him, I actually was dating a firefighter from New York City. A fireman. You know, isn't that exciting? And I'm in upstate New York, so, you know, he still was pretty far from me. He was probably, you know, 5 hours away from me, but we met online and we would meet halfway and just hang out, you know, maybe once or twice a month, and we really connected, and he was super, super nice, and I liked him a lot. And so then, and this is the outside. I'm done with the outside. This is 2 pieces of 21-inch mesh per tie, crisscrossing each other, rolled, pinched in the middle. But look how full that is already. So anyway, now we're going to do the inside. And there's 8 pipe cleaners on the inside. So let's get started on that while I finish my story. So anyway, we kind of lost touch. I don't know what happened. He was far, and I actually started dating my ex-boyfriend, and we just kind of like lost touch. So fast forward, we actually talked briefly in like 2015. I don't know how he found me, but we did text a couple of times, and I told him I was in a relationship, you know, and so he wished me well, and that was that. But then, you know, I broke up with my ex, and I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago now, I think it's been. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do the first piece parallel to the wreath form. You can't really see because there's so much mesh going on here now. And we're going to crisscross the second piece. So for some reason, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think it was now, he just like randomly popped into my mind. I hadn't thought about him in years. And I thought to myself, I wonder what Pete's doing now. Pete the firefighter. He was actually at the World Trade Center when that all went down. He was one of the first responders there. And he's kind of a hero, this guy. Anyway, so I just like started thinking about him, like wondering, hey, Debbie Crew, I'm sitting here telling my story. I didn't even see you pop on. There's not many people here live with me. There was one person, but she had to leave because I never do afternoon classes. So I'm just kind of leaving it open here in case anybody else decides to pop on. Now I forgot where I laid my first piece. So the second piece is going to go across just like we did on the outside. So anyway, I think I want to do, yeah, I'll do the ruffles facing out with the spirals. So I started thinking about him and I was wondering, what the heck, I wonder what he's doing now. I wonder what Pete the firefighter is doing now. So I couldn't even remember his last name, honestly. Debbie, you can unmute yourself if you want to talk, honey. You're the only one here. So I'm not sitting here talking.
I got you.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm lonely. There's nobody here because I never have afternoon classes, so I don't think anybody even knows that I'm live. But that's okay. I got to get this done anyway, and I'm telling my story, and I thought I was talking to myself until I saw you pop on. Debbie, have you seen this method before?
No, I have never seen
Oh
that.
my God, it's so awesome. It's going to be your favorite way to use 10 or 21-inch mesh.
I've seen Lori, hardworking mom, do something similar, but she does the poof in the middle and then connects it.
Yeah, what she probably does is she rolls it. I've seen that. I haven't done that one yet. She rolls it, and then she takes it and she puts. Yeah, I've seen that before. This is a little bit different because it's a 10-inch piece of mesh, but you roll it just like she does. Make sure your cut ends are all kind of tucked in underneath, and then just fold it in half, and then just pinch it in the middle.
Okay, gotcha.
And I have a poof and a spiral, and I do 2 per tie, and it's awesome.
Do 2 per tie?
Yep.
Okay.
And it makes a nice full wreath, and it's up to you how you want to put your second piece on, and you just kind of fluff out the poof when you get it on there.
Yeah.
This is jute mesh. I'm not sure if you've seen jute mesh.
I like the jute poly. I like it.
I do too, but it does fray, and you can't cut it with the wood burning tool at all. So, but look how nice and full that is already.
Yeah. It looks
Anyway, back to my story.
nice. Okay.
So I couldn't find this guy. If you want to hear my story, I figured I might as well finish it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I couldn't find this guy, and dating at 53 again is not fun, let me tell you. So that Plenty of Fish site is a joke. If you've ever heard of it.
I wouldn't want to do that.
So anyway, he wasn't on Facebook. First of all, I couldn't remember his last name. Did I put one on here or 2? I can't remember. It's easy to get lost when you're in the middle because it's just so full. Once you get to the middle, here we go. Okay, so I had to go to my email first and try to find his last name because I couldn't remember his last name. So my email, I sorted it by date, and it went all the way back to 2006, believe it or not. And I found him. And he wasn't on Facebook, but he was on Twitter. And I don't use Twitter at all. But I thought, all right, I have to open up an account so I could message him. So I opened up a Twitter account, and I found him, and I messaged him, and he immediately messaged me back, and he was so excited. He's like, oh my God, I can't believe it's you. I never forgot about you, and how are you, and blah, blah, blah. And here's my number, and so I called him, and it turns out that his daughter goes to college up here by me, and he's up here like 3 or 4 times a month because she plays lacrosse. And we had dinner like a week and a half ago, and it was so awesome.
That's good.
And he's so nice, and he's so sweet, and it's just like, that's the first time anything has ever happened to me like that, Debbie, like ever in my life. And it's almost like it happened for a reason, you know what I mean? Like, he just like popped into my head.
Right. Well, they say that usually does happen that way.
I don't know.
Everything for a reason.
I know. Actually, that's who I was looking at. He just texted me a picture. I was like, oh, it's nice.
Oh, so you guys have been still keeping in touch every day or what?
Yeah. And, you know, it's funny because he messaged me last night, and he had to drive to Maryland, which is about a 7-hour drive from where he is, to watch his daughter play, like I said, lacrosse. He drove to the University of Maryland, and I didn't really hear from him because he was busy and he was with his kids and everything. And so he messaged me late last night, and he said, oh, I'm just thinking about you. And I said, really? I said, are you just saying that? He said, listen, he said, since 2 weeks ago, he said, I've been thinking about you every day. And I'm like, oh,
Oh,
I know.
that's good. That's good, I guess.
I know. Anyway, that's my sappy love story of the day.
Well,
So,
that's a good thing, though. That's,
you're gonna love this method, Debbie. I'll get you the video so you can try it. I mean, I've done this quite a few times in class, but you may just have missed the ones that I don't remember when you joined, but you may just have missed the times that
probably
I did it.
because
So
I
I
have
try
a
to do
stack
these.
of them to watch yet.
What's that?
I have a stack of them to watch, so I probably have.
Okay. But I try to do this like, every other class or every few classes because it's just a really great, look how nice and full that is.
Yes, it is.
It's just really a great method for 21-inch mesh. And I have yet to do that one that Lori does.
I didn't care. I did it before. I tried it, but I really didn't care for it. I don't even think I finished the Wreath with it. I think I undone it. I didn't care for it to do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I couldn't get the poofs right in the middle. I probably could now because it's been a
Yeah,
long
I'm not a big poof fan. My poofs don't come out that great. Whenever I do a poof wreath, I always have to add ruffles to it. So, but
Yes, so I do too. Sometimes. Actually, the one that I did with the coil and the one I posted, you just commented.
I love that one so much. Oh my God, I love that.
That one was poofs, but then I just added a couple curls to it.
Yeah. But there's one coming up. I think one of the Easter wreaths I have coming up is a new method that I saw with 21-inch mesh. It's a weave. You actually weave the mesh together. And when I first saw it, I was like, wow, that's really cool. I wish I could come up with a different method like that, but I said I have to try that in class. So, and then there's one coming up. The dog wreath is actually something called the Poofle, which is also something that's really cool with 21-inch mesh that I have not tried yet. So I had to actually, I had to buy the tutorial for that. That wasn't free, so.
I love that though. That is nice and full. I like that.
I know, isn't it though? And look how easy that is. It's just so easy to do. You may not even necessarily need to do 2 per tie on the inside because
you could do that in different colors too.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. You could do.
That'd be nice.
In fact, that's for the Mother's Day wreath. If you saw the Mother's Day wreath class that I scheduled, that's done doing this method, but with a pink and a lavender.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yep. And that came out really nice. And you just alternate. Like if you do pink on the bottom, you would do lavender on the top, and then lavender on the bottom, and then pink on the top, and you just like alternate as you're going around.
Mm-hmm. And you cut them at 10 inches?
Well, that's what I was going to tell you. I think I actually cut these at 9, and I have to go and adjust that because if you cut them at 10, you might not have enough. You're going to need 36 pieces if you want to do 2 per tie. And ideally, because of the length of a 21-inch roll, a length of a 21-inch roll is 30 feet. A length of a 10-inch roll is 30 feet. So ideally, if you cut these at 20 inches and you did the math, you should have 36 pieces. However, you know as well as I do, there's going to be a little bit of waste. You're going to have to cut a little bit off the end. And so if you do 9 inches or maybe just under 10 inches, you're definitely going to have enough to get 36 pieces.
Right.
But even if you don't, even if you already cut it at 10, what I would do in that case, because you don't really need 2 per tie on the inside because it's just so full and the circle in the middle is smaller. If you still want to cut them at 10 and just do 2 maybe every other tie on the inside.
Or just cut the
10
and cut some 10 and some 9. Still
there you go. You could do that too. It's not going to make that big of a difference in how it looks not cutting it at 10. I mean, taking 1 inch off.
Right.
Where am I here? It's easy to get lost in the middle because it just gets so full. And then I forget where I put my last piece in. Hold on. That's got 2. Where's this one? Hold on. All right. That's only got one, so let me put another one in here. I got
I like
Band-Aids
that. I
in
might
each of
make
my
one of
thumbs.
those
I don't
today.
know what I did. I cut them on something, and that's the last thing you want to do is if you have a cut on your finger, is to handle mesh because it's painful. You get a piece of that mesh into your cut.
No, no. Mm-hmm.
So I have two
Wires.
pieces left, so I think I'm going to be good. So I cut these at just under 10 or around 9 or so, and I have enough for 2 per tie.
Yeah,
You can
that
see
looks
how
good.
fast that goes. It's just so quick.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my last tie here? There it is. And I'm so mad because I had some of these cute little sparkly shamrocks that I got from the Dollar Tree last year. And I thought, okay, well, they're in my bin. I have a bin here, or several bins in my craft room. And I was like, I know I still have them. Of course, when I went to try to find them just now before class, they're not there. So, but I have some other picks and stuff I'm going to use. So I'm not worried about
Yeah, I
that.
didn't buy any St. Patty's Day stuff because it really doesn't. I really didn't need any. Just I didn't have any orders or anything for it, and
You know,
was
I sold
thinking-
my wreath from last year, but I didn't really get too many orders for St. Patty's Day.
Yeah,
It's
I
not
don't think
really
they're a
that
big
huge.
one. I think everyday stuff sells better than
Oh,
that.
yeah, absolutely. And I was actually looking for ideas for some more everyday type wreaths. I think I want to do a wreath with the grapevine with the initial. Connie Liner's here.
Hello.
Hi, honey. You don't have your headphones on.
No, my husband's outside of the house right now, so I can leave the speaker up.
I was sitting here talking to myself for a while because nobody was here because I never have a class during the day. So, but that's
Well, I planned on getting here earlier, but we got home late after lunch and I went out back and saw some animal got into some of our stuff, so I had to clean it up.
oh no,
Yeah, that's okay. It wasn't a mess.
that's good. So I just kind of jumped on. I never really have an afternoon class, but then I had something come up tonight that I needed to do. And so I decided to do this afternoon while I was still awake and alert, even though we all lost an hour today, which I really hate. I like that it's lighter out later, but I hate losing that hour.
I went to bed
Nice
an
and cold
hour
enough.
early.
You've seen this method before, right? With the 21 mesh? Okay. And I'm just trying to tuck my cut ends in a little bit here because this jute mesh does fray. But this is a nice method to use for that because you can just kind of tuck your cut ends in. I can't talk today. Let me just fix this a little bit. Hold on.
Shoot, I really need this.
But it does make a really nice full wreath. It really does. Very poofy. All right. I've got mesh all over my floor here. So where's my leprechaun? I don't know if I want to put my leprechaun in first and then put my ribbon in. Maybe I'll put my ribbon in because this guy is big. If you saw him at Big Lots, he's a big
Cute.
boy. He's and I like him because a lot of the leprechauns that I saw online just had scary faces. It's like, no. Like that movie Leprechaun. Did you ever see that movie?
No,
Yeah.
Scary. So he's like 24 inches long. And he's got a big butt. That's where the sandbag is. I'm spanking him. So he's pretty heavy. So but I think I'm gonna put him in after. I'm gonna do my ribbon first. Just checking my phone here. All right. So, as you know, if you've seen my videos, oh, this one's popping out, which does happen sometimes. You gotta make sure you twist that in tight. Oh, good Lord. What's new with you, Connie Leitner?
Not too much. Went to the races yesterday because it's nice and hot down here right now. So,
Oh, I'm so jealous.
oh, it's beautiful.
Where are you? I don't remember.
Florida, Bradenton, Florida.
I had my honeymoon, and actually, my honeymoon was on Anna Maria Island. Isn't that near there?
Yep, that's near me. Yep,
That's where my honeymoon was when I was married.
nice.
Some 1990. that was a long time ago. But
Hey, mine was 74, so
oh, okay. And I'm no longer married, so that doesn't really make any difference. But anyway, yeah, we still have quite a bit of snow up here, but it's supposed to be 60 degrees Friday, which is like a massive heat wave. So I'm just hoping it doesn't warm up too fast.
right.
If the snow melts too fast, my basement's going to flood. So
Oh dear.
yeah, I don't really want that to happen. Okay. So horse races, obviously.
No, actually, it was some national hot rod type thing.
Oh,
It was
cars.
streetcars, rails, and altered, and all kinds of things. It was pretty neat.
Nice.
We went at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we got home at 8 o'clock last night, and they were still running.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. All right, so if you've seen me add ribbons before, you know I typically like to do one and a half, and one, 2.5, and one and a half together. What the heck is up with my brain? And then I just sort of lay them together. Crystal is new. Crystal's not with us anymore. She had to leave, but she's brand new. So just pinch them in the middle. And I like to do them all the way around the outside because it looks pretty. It's pretty that way. And if you have any lumps or anything from your poofs, this sort of helps to even them out. I'm making Hasselback potatoes today. You ever made those before, Connie?
No, what are they?
Well, you can do it with potatoes. You can do it with chicken. You just take your potato raw, and you slice it, make little slices in it, but not all the way through.
Okay.
And so when you put it in the oven, it kind of opens up a little bit.
Ooh,
And then you put like olive oil and, spices and maybe a little Parmesan cheese. And it sort of looks like it like fans open when it's baking.
it sounds delicious.
Yeah, look it up. It's called Hasselback potatoes, but you can do that with chicken too. I've
Wow.
made it with chicken before too. So now I'm going to start talking about food. I haven't had any lunch yet, so I'm going to be in trouble. I'm still pulling phrase out here.
Well, I didn't have lunch. I decided while we ate out, I had breakfast. I had creme brulee French toast.
Oh, I love creme brulee.
It was so good.
Yummy. This is kind of what I was afraid was going to happen. If you can really see what I'm doing here. You really kind of want to be conscious with how you lay your mesh on the outside, because I probably shouldn't have put the poofs facing out, because now my ribbon doesn't want to lay right, but we'll get it. Because I'm just so crazy with my ribbon laying a certain way. But I think it'll be okay, because I kind of like it to curl over.
Yep.
I think this will be okay. Yeah. I like them all to be facing the same way on the outside like that. All right, and now usually I get my 1.5. I cut some extra pieces. These are 12 inches. I used to cut them at 14, but I decided that was way too long. So now I do 12. And I take the 1.5 and I cut it at 13. And I don't dovetail the ends because that's going to be my little, it's going to be my little bow tie that I love to do. I'm going to start making bows, ladies, and adding them to my wreaths. I think I want to go get one of those easy bow makers. And I love Regina. I love the Pro Bow, but I just can't seem to get it to work right for me. It just doesn't. My bows don't come out good. And I don't really have the room in my craft room to leave it out all the time. So I might try one of those easy bow makers. I don't know. Everybody seems to be using those. But honestly, I'm not a big bow person. I don't really put a lot of bows in my wreaths. I don't like how some wreath makers just put so much on there that you can't even see the mesh. You can't see anything but the bows. I'm just kind of snipping off this little extra piece of pipe cleaner here.
I love my Pro Bow. I use it all the time.
Do you? I just need to get it out. I need to just get it out.
I don't leave mine out either. I put it back in its box every time because well, I live in a manufactured home, so I have no space.
Oh, okay.
So I put it back in the box and I set it behind my heat press on the floor.
Yeah, so that's no excuse for me. I'm just being lazy, I guess.
Well, remember, I'm retired, so I don't have to
There you go.
working.
So this looks cute together like that. I like that.
I like that.
Yep. So now I have polka dot, and I'm going to put that with my other shamrocks. I didn't want to put the two shamrock together. And that's it. And if you have 18 ties on the outside, you're going to have just enough ribbon where you don't have two of the same types of ribbon next to each other, which drives me absolutely crazy.
Christina, is Debbie new? Does she know to pin your video so when I talk it doesn't go black on her?
I don't know. Why don't you ask her? Debbie, do you know how to do that?
What's that? To pin it?
Do you know how to make it so when I talk it doesn't go black?
It's not. It's not going black. It's just going to you. I mean, I
Well,
don't.
that's what she means. It's only going to go black if you don't have your webcam on, Connie.
Both on my iPad.
If you're speaking and you have your webcam on, it's just going to go to your video. If you don't have your webcam on, then it's going to be black. So what she means, Debbie, is if you want the video to just stay on me the whole time, even when somebody else is talking, you can pin the video. You want to tell her how to do that, Connie?
Sure. Debbie, go to Christina's picture and click on it. There'll be 3 little dots up in the right-hand corner. And when you click that with your mouse, it'll ask if you want to pin the video. And when you pin it, it doesn't matter who talks, you'll keep seeing Christina's working on the wreath.
Okay.
Which is great because I hate when it does that. And unfortunately, that's good for the live class, but in the video, it
Right.
still goes to whoever's talking. And I've talked to Zoom so many times about that, and there's no way around that. And I don't like that. I don't like that it does that. I want it to stay on me the whole time, regardless of who's talking. But I don't want to tell everybody don't talk. That's the whole point of doing the videos this way, of doing the classes this way, rather, is so everybody can speak and ask their questions, and it's more interactive and all that kind of stuff. Did you figure it out, Debbie?
I'm looking at it. It just says show my video and I have gallery view where I can see you both.
No, you want to do speaker view.
Speaker view?
Yeah, if you click where it says gallery view, there should be an option to choose speaker view.
Show gallery view. Disconnect audio.
Because speaker view will make me really big on your screen instead of seeing a bunch of little boxes of everybody. Does that make sense?
And Alt F1 will make it into the gallery view, or the speaker view, I mean. If you hit your Alt button and your F1 button together.
I'm on my iPad, so.
Oh, okay. So I don't
have an iPad, so.
I don't have one either. I'm sorry, can't help you.
But I
know I was talking a lot and I didn't want you not to see her doing it.
Do you know where to go to switch between gallery and speaker view, Debbie, or no?
Well, I can do it to switch it to where I can see you both at the same time anyway. So it has
whatever's easier for you. If this is working,
and I'm looking while I'm doing that anyway, so I can still see it.
Okay. And I think the final video, it's just going to be on me anyway, regardless of what you chose when you're watching the live class, because this is just Zoom settings. When I upload this to YouTube, you know, it's just going to be me. Well, I don't really want to say that because it will still switch to somebody else when they're talking. But you don't have the option in YouTube to change any settings or anything. You know, it is what it is, unfortunately, because of the way it gets recorded in Zoom. I might start looking into other options. You know, I could just do Facebook Lives in the group. Now that everybody needs to switch to an unlimited plan and you can't do the paper class anymore, I was thinking about just doing Facebook Lives, but then, you know, it's going to take away from the ability again for everybody to ask their questions out loud, and that's what I like about, you know, the video conferencing program, is you can ask your questions out loud. So I gotta turn this so you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm trying to, let's do it this way. I usually work from left to right, right to left. I don't know. So I'm trying to do this so you guys can see what I'm doing. Even though I'm sure you guys have seen me add ribbon to my wreaths before, and this is unfortunately the most time-consuming part because I take my time. You don't have to cut your little pipe cleaner off because it's like, for me, it's the same color as my wreath and everything else. So you can even just leave that on there if you want and kind of curl it around. But I'm just going to cut that off. So I'm going to have these fibers, these burlap fibers all over me now. Where am I? Let's see. Now I need my polka dot again. Polka dot and shamrock. We have a casino here locally, Turning Stone Casino. It's actually about 15 minutes from my house, and it's on Indian land, so I guess that makes it legal. And it's been around for like 25 years. It's not brand new. I don't really like to go because I don't gamble, and it can kind of be depressing because people just go and they just throw their money away, and it's kind of sad. But we decided we wanted to go to dinner last night, my son and I, because they have some really good restaurants there. It was so unbelievably crowded. Like, he wanted to play a couple of hands of blackjack, and it was just insane. There was like no places to sit at all. So he's like, Mom, let's just go. I'm like, all right. So I'm not going to.
We have casinos in Delaware too.
Do you really?
Yeah.
My daughter goes with my sister-in-law every Tuesday because they get like a free play. And she won $400 one time. I mean, it's not a ton, but it's better than losing, I guess.
I won $12,500 one night over here in here.
Who did?
I did.
You won how much?
$12,500.
Holy crap, Debbie.
Yeah, it was a nice night.
Was that on the slots?
Yeah.
Wow.
I put $100 bill in a slot machine. I still had $96 left. It was on the dollar play.
Oh, and there was $1 a spin?
Yeah, but I pushed 2 spins at a time when I won it, though. But I still had like
holy
$96
crap.
left.
Did all these like alarms and everything go off or what?
Oh, yeah.
And I saw that happen once. And don't they have to like bring somebody, like 2 people come over? And one person like comes over and counts the money and the other person has to watch or something like that? I don't know if it's
well, I
different.
got mine. I think it was a Saturday night, and it was going to be the banks were going to be closed Monday. It was a holiday of some sort, but I had them give me $1,000 cash and the rest in a check.
Oh, so you can request that they give you a check?
Yeah.
Wow, Debbie, when was this?
Oh my God, it's been 15 years ago or more. Probably.
Oh, okay. So I was gonna say I did come hit you up for cash.
Yeah. No, I took my oldest daughter to Mexico for 8 days.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a nice hit. You never, when you win, you get out and you don't go back until it's all spent. See?
Right. Yeah, I always lose, so I just don't even bother. I like my money too much. I don't want to give my money away to a casino. But then you hear stories like this and you're like, wow, that's awesome.
Right. It's all luck. They're not there to give you money. That's what I tell my older kids.
Exactly.
Like, you don't do that. You don't go over there thinking you're just going to win all the time. It don't happen.
Yep.
And you definitely don't go over if you don't have the money to spend.
Yep. It's really weird for me going in this direction, but I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. You can't see when I'm in the other direction here. And there's a lot of new people. I mean, you know, some of you guys have been with me for a while, and, you know, you've seen me add ribbon, but there's a lot of new people that are just getting my video for the first time. So it's important that, you know, they see what's happening. Whoop, and that one just came out. There's some drama going on with Regina Sellers. You guys know who Regina Sellers is, right?
Yeah.
With the Probo. Did you see the video that she posted?
No.
Yeah, you might want to go to her page. She actually messaged me a couple of days ago and wanted to know if she could make an announcement in my group, my Need to Wreath group, that she was going to be posting a video addressing some things that I guess were being said about her. Now, I don't like to get involved in any drama at all.
Right.
And it seems like a lot of wreath makers out there, I'm not going to name any names, they like it. They feel like the drama, will get them followers. And I just think it's so ridiculous and it's so childish. And
that is ridiculous.
you know, I don't make a ton of money doing this. But there's some people out there that they just will step on anybody that they can in order to be the most popular, in order to make the most money. And when I started doing these classes, it really wasn't about making money. It was about helping people, you know, learn. But there was so much time and effort being spent into these classes and everything that I just decided, you know, to make a little money off of it. And because it is a lot of work. And now everybody seems to have a paid group. When I started, there was maybe 3 or 4 wreath makers doing it in the summer of 2017. Now everybody that has, you know, a wreath business is out there with a paid group. But anyway, so apparently there's some stuff being said about Regina that's not very nice. So she posted a video, and, you know, you might want to go watch it. You know, like I said, I don't like to get involved in drama. She wanted me to give her a call later today. She messaged me and said, can you give me a call? I can tell you exactly what's been happening. And she really is the sweetest person in the world. She never says anything bad about anybody. And she's done lives in my group a couple of times. Very, very nice about it. Always willing to help. And you know, like I said, I'm not going to name any names. She named the names, but it didn't surprise me at all who she named. But,
I'm going to go watch it when I get leave.
It's not nice. It's, you know, it's not nice to say things about people that aren't true. And she actually even hired a lawyer because that's slander.
Right.
You can't do that stuff. It's against the law.
Mm-hmm. Why do it anyway?
That's what I woke up to this morning.
I'm going to check it out when I leave here.
All righty. These people have a very big following too, so even if you suspect something about someone, but you don't have proof that it's true, you can't just jump on and start, you know, rumors and all that. It's not right. All right, enough of that sad talk. Anybody else join us here? It's a small group live today here.
No, it's just us 3.
It is.
Yeah, so it says it's 3 people.
Yep. But that's okay. Everybody's busy on a weekend, and everybody's probably tired because they're trying to get all their stuff done because they lost an hour. And I don't typically do classes during the day. We need to get this St. Patty's wreath done because it's like next week. Behind.
I have to get my eggs decoupaged.
Me too. I got to finish mine too. I actually bought a cone, a tree cone or shape from Hobby Lobby yesterday, but I think it's too big. I got the biggest one that they had, and it's like 17.8 inches.
Oh, yeah.
But they had some that were just under a foot, which would work. However, I wanted to also tell you that you can take, and I got to shoot a video, you can take a piece of poster board and you can make it into a cone shape and use that too. I'm going to shoot a video on that and how to do that. So
I have a cone shape already. There's some estate sales that we go to every once in a while down here, and I got some craft stuff from that one.
nice.
And it had the styrofoam cones and stuff in them, so I lucked out on that.
And if you don't want to decoupage your eggs because it is messy, I just love the way these came out though. This is the Dollar Tree tissue paper.
I know they were beautiful. I watched it.
But this one dried. And like I said, it's okay if the tissue paper overlaps a little bit. You're really looking more for color. But I think I mentioned in another video I did, I think it was the live that I did the other day, that it's easier if you take your strips of tissue paper, don't put the Mod Podge right on the tissue paper. Put the Mod Podge on the egg first, and then lay your tissue paper. Because if the tissue paper is too thin, it will come off on your fingers. And that can be annoying. So look at this cute bunny I got from
That's
Dollar General.
they have some good stuff there.
Yeah. But what I was going to tell you is if you don't want to decoupage your eggs, you can go anywhere and get eggs that have like patterns. Like these are some pretty sparkly eggs I got from Michael's. These I got from Hobby Lobby. They have like little flowers on them and stuff. Yeah, I went to Hobby Lobby yesterday. It was insane in there. Everybody was out because the sun was out. It was a really pretty day yesterday. And they actually had these too. You can see these in the package. These have like little chicks on them.
Oh yeah.
They're picks, but you know, you can take them off. So you don't have to decoupage your own eggs. You can buy the ones, and they also had the white eggs.
Oh yeah.
These are actually better to use if you're going to decoupage. You can use the colored ones too, but you might just have to add an extra layer of tissue paper because the color will show through. So, but everything's 40% off now at Hobby Lobby for Easter.
I am not going.
Okay. I had to get out yesterday. It was so nice and sunny, and it was actually warm. Warm for here. It was 40 degrees. So, that's the wrong one. I need this one. This is the longest process here, is adding all your ribbon to the outside. Hi, Alyssa. Alyssa just jumped on. People are kind of jumping on randomly here because I never have a afternoon class, so nobody probably even knows that I'm on here. So again, this is like the most time-consuming part for me anyway, because I take my time adding my ribbon on the outside. That's because I feel like that just gives the wreath a nice, rounded, clean look. Because especially if you have poofs, and they can be a little lopsided, adding the ribbon all the way around the outside and making sure all your tails are facing outside just makes it nice and round and pretty. So that's why and then I take my time because I just like it to look perfect because I'm insane that way. I see some of these wreath makers just kind of throwing the ribbon on and pulling it and then moving on. And I'm like, why doesn't that ever work for me? Why does it always take me so much more effort to get mine to look the way I want? So again, you guys are going to get the video if you're just joining now, Alyssa, and you missed part of this. I'm not even sure if I think you've gotten my videos out already, Alyssa. I know you have. You've been with me for a little while. But this is what I like to do. I cut my ribbon tails at 12 inches, and then I cut some extra pieces at 13, and then I add my little bow tie in the middle. That's kind of like, it's not a new look. I mean, some other wreath makers do that too. But where am I now? I need my polka dot. Yeah, look that up, Connie. Hasselback potatoes, and there's Hasselback chicken too. I've actually made the chicken, but I've never tried the potatoes, so. I don't really like working with satin ribbon as much as canvas, because satin always seems to give me a hard time when it comes to shaping. That was not too bad. Again, you don't have to cut your little pipe cleaners off in the middle if you don't want to. I think Rhonda Nickerson from Rhonda's Creative Corner, she takes a pencil and she curls them. She curls them around. Do that too. We only have 2 more to go. So we're getting there, ladies. I'm so glad that I was able to have some of you join me at the last minute here. Long piece. So because you have 18 ties, you're going to have just enough to alternate your ribbon bundles and not have 2 of the same kind next to each other, which has happened to me before and has made me absolutely crazy. Can't have that. What's your husband doing, Connie? He's outside messing around?
He was. He just came back in, so my headset's on.
Oh, I didn't see that. There it is.
There it is.
How are you feeling?
I'm doing good now.
Good. All right, I can fix those later. I can't mess with them too much now. You guys are going to be here all day. Yeah, Hobby Lobby was insane yesterday. Well, because they're not open Sundays, so people all go crazy trying to get there Saturday and get what they need. And it was just a gorgeous day here. Heat wave for upstate New York. It was in the 40s or low 40s, and the sun was out. My daughter and I took a ride. I had to bribe her with lunch at Panera and Starbucks to come with me, but they don't like the craft stores. They do not like to go. They get bored. I let this woman in front of me, this older woman in line, because whenever I go in there, I always buy the stuff on sale, obviously, but then I always try to find something regular priced that I can use my 40% off coupon for, because there's always the 40% off coupon that's available. So I used it on my tree. So, I'm standing in line and I'm, trying to pull up the app so I could have my coupon ready because I like to be prepared. And this lady in front of me, says, well, she's like, are there any coupons? Because, I didn't have a chance to cut any out. And I said, well, I've got it right here on my phone. And she was an older lady, so I don't think she had a smartphone. So I let her use my coupon. She was very excited about that. She was very appreciative. She's like, you did your good deed for the day. So I was like, oh, that's nice. And then the lady behind me saw that I had the cone, and she saw the plastic egg. She goes, somebody's making an Easter egg tree. She said, I made one of those before. And I'm like, oh. I said, I actually teach online classes. She goes, oh, are you a teacher? I said, well, not really. Like, are you a teacher like in a school? No, not really. But I guess I am. You think I'm a good teacher, Connie?
Yep, I think so.
What?
I said, yes, I think so. I have to turn it on and off. I have the mute.
Oh, okay. I will keep calling you out.
You are calling me out. That's okay.
I'm sorry. I'm just feeling silly today. It hasn't been a very good past few months for me, with losing my doggie and some other stuff that I've gone through. So I'm finally starting to feel better. And the weather's going to start getting nicer, so that'll be good. All right, that's our last bundle. Let me just put the the bow in. Our last bundle on the outside, but the inside goes pretty quickly. Just the outside is kind of time consuming because there's 18 ties and blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 etc., etc. Very quiet in my house right now. My son's home. I don't know if my daughter's home. She went away for the weekend. She's always going somewhere. I'm going to lose my daughter soon, my other daughter. She's going to be moving out to Colorado to live with my older daughter. I don't know. Maybe I'll move out to Colorado too. You kind of got to go where your kids are. And I'm really kind of getting sick of the snow. And you would think that Colorado would be like, well, they have snow too. I got to cut that off. I can't pull that. But not as much. You know, my daughter told me it's been in the 50s there. They really didn't get a lot of snow this winter. So maybe I'll end up going to Colorado. That would be a big change. I've lived in New York almost my whole life. Lived in New Jersey for a little while, in Pennsylvania. I don't know, Connie. I don't think I'd like Florida. You don't have to answer, but I don't know. I don't think I'd like that humidity, and I heard the bugs are really big down there, so I don't think I could deal with that.
You know, I don't have an issue with it at all, but I was always cold in New York, and I'm comfortable
Really?
down here. And the bugs, they're there, but you know, they're just as afraid of you as you are of them.
I don't know about that. Okay. So this is what we have now. So you can see what I mean, if I can get this in the camera here. When you add all your ribbon tails to the outside, it just kind of rounds out the wreath. And that's why I like to do that. And again, most of you guys have seen this before. But I know, Crystal, I'm addressing you. I'm not calling you out. I'm sorry. But I know you mentioned when you were here earlier, you had to leave. I think her phone died, or she was at Chuck E. Cheese, I think, with her kids. She said that hers always look lopsided. This will help that. Just by adding your ribbon tails all around the outside in every single tie and facing them all out, it just gives your wreath a nice rounded look. That's what I like. And it looks clean. So let me get our big guy here. Now, a lot of wreath makers, what they do, and I was thinking about maybe even just doing this, is they go ahead and they add ribbon to all their ties, and then they put their sign in or their centerpiece. I don't really like to do that, only because I feel like my centerpiece or my sign is going to cover my ribbon, and I don't really want it to do that. So what I usually do is I'll add my sign or centerpiece and then put ribbon around it. And then you don't really have any wasted ribbon. Now again, this guy is heavy. He's from Big Lots. He's 24 inches tall.
I've seen them take that with him being heavy like that. I've seen them take it, put a hole in the bottom and take that sandbag out. Just empty it out just so it's not so heavy.
Oh, really?
I've seen that. I've seen somebody do that. I don't know.
Well, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
what I
same.
do is I'm just going to get some floral wire. And I think what I did to the last time I made him, I kind of actually, I can't remember if I just wrapped it around his waist and just tied him in. I may have actually cut 2 little slits in his pants and tied him in that way. Let me see. I don't remember. It's been a while since I've made the St. Patty's Day wreath. And I sold last year's one, so let me see.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't see the wire around his waist at all.
Well, yeah, because it's the same color. But I think that's what I did last year. I think I actually just cut some slits in his little butt there. And I slid the wire through, because you're not going to see his little butt. But I'm going to double my wire. In fact, I might need to get a longer piece, because this is really thin wire. I don't know what gauge it is. Don't ask me, because I do not know. But I'm just going to kind of slide it through these little slits that I made. Give it a twist. And then I'm going to tie him in. And it's not like I'm going to be throwing this wreath around where he's going to fall out. I'm not really worried about that. So I'm going to put his butt right in the middle here. You don't want him to sink in too far. What I did do last year, though, is you got to get some glue, and I like to cross his little legs because it just looks better than having his legs just like sticking up in the air like that. All right, so here's my wire, and here's the tricky part. Just kind of feeding it through the mesh and securing it to your wreath form. And I'm going to try to do this without flipping it over because I don't want to squish everything. You can tighten it later. Just make sure that you have it positioned and where you want him positioned. And he's kind of actually sitting on your mesh, so you don't really have to worry about him sliding off, because I kind of set his little butt in there a little farther. So he's actually sitting on the mesh. And then you can kind of fix his legs after. But he's so big, I tried to position him in my last wreath on the side. Just didn't look right because he's so big. That's not a bad idea, though, Debbie. What Debbie was saying, if you wanted to cut it open and take that beanbag material out, you know, it'll make a mess, but do it over a garbage can or do it outside or something, and that'll make him a lot less bottom heavy or less heavy overall, period. I gotta hold him up for a minute and see and pray that he doesn't slide. No, he's not going anywhere. Again, I kind of have him sitting on this poof here.
And I think the weight helps them to stay put. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes.
And then I'm gonna kind of push his legs down, and I'm gonna get some super glue or some hot glue, and I just like to cross his little legs because I think that looks cute like that. Does he look centered, ladies? I'm looking at my
Yes, it looks really cute.
I'm looking at my laptop here. Yeah, I'll just glue his legs right now. Let me plug my glue gun in. I just love this leprechaun. It's so cute. Like I said, some of the ones that I saw online were just had scary faces, and I'm like, no, I'm not using that. All right, so now what I do is I use the center. This came from the Dollar Tree, and it actually had legs and a hat with it. But I just snipped those off. I mean, you can still add these, but he's already got his legs here, so, and a hat, so you really don't need these. You can use them for something else or whatever. I just wanted the center because I like the sign. So this, I'll just add like I add any normal sign. My little cable tie holders, and I got to take these Band-Aids off because I feel like, but you know when you have a cut on your hand and you go to handle a mesh and it's like, ow. So that's what I was trying to avoid. And for some reason I have cuts on both my thumbs. I was cutting broccoli the other day and I sliced my finger. I don't know where this one came from. Of course, now I can't get this adhesive backing off. Crystal, I know you're new. If you haven't seen these yet, oh, good Lord, hold on. These are actually called cable tie mounts, and you can get them near the cable ties or the zip ties in Walmart, Home Depot. I actually ordered mine online, and they're just little squares. These are small ones. These aren't even an inch. I usually get the inch by inch ones, but there's a little hole in there after you place it on your sign, and you can slip your pipe cleaner through there, and it's just a really easy way to attach your signs. You just stick your pipe cleaner through. Sometimes I'll put a little extra, not hot glue, but super glue on the back of the adhesive before I stick it. especially if it's a heavy sign, and that just gives it a little bit extra protection, not protection, but a little extra strength. But that's only if it's a heavy sign. This is very light, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then we just kind of place it over his midsection and go right back down through your wreath form again and attach it just like you're attaching a regular sign. I mean, I suppose I could have glued it to his stomach, but again, I don't think that would have been secure enough. I don't really like to use hot glue all that much for signs. I mean, even though I'm up north, I've had signs come off just using hot glue and pipe cleaners, so I don't like to do that anymore. Especially if I have a customer that's going to be hanging it outside or in hot weather, that hot glue is just going to melt and your sign's going to come right off. I saw somebody made a St. Patrick's Day wreath recently, and they actually made a little pot of gold, like a homemade little pot of gold. It was so cute. I'm trying to see if that's straight. I'm like upside down here, so that looks okay. See how easy that was? Just kind of. I love this leprechaun. He's so damn cute. I love his little face. My daughters used to watch that leprechaun movie when they were little, and I freaking think was scary. He was a scary leprechaun. All right. I'm just going to glue his little legs because I want them to be crossed. You can do whatever you want with yours, but hold that there for a minute. Now I have these ornaments too. Well, I want to add some more ribbon first before I put my ornaments on. I have some green ornaments. There. Cute. Let's put some more ribbon on first, and I'll put my embellishments on, because there's really, he covered up quite a few of the pipe cleaners, so I'm going to see what I can dig out and add a little bit more ribbon where I can. Nope, wrong piece. I need the dovetail piece. There we go. Well, Alyssa left. She was here for a minute. So here's a pipe cleaner. The thing of it is, and I think I've told you guys this before, when you're putting ribbon on your inside pipe cleaners, and it might be a little bit challenging, I try not to go all the way down to the bottom of the pipe cleaner because you're not going to be able to see your ribbon. The outside of your wreath is different because it's just not as poofy on the outside. But on the inside, you've got a lot of poof going on, especially with this method. So just try to maybe go down halfway on your pipe cleaner. And you won't, you'll still be able to see your ribbons. So what do I need here? I need one of these. There's one. There's another pipe cleaner here. Again, if you want to add your ribbon, and then put your sign on, you can do that. I just don't like to cover up my ribbon. That's why I usually add it after I put my sign on and whatnot. And then I just kind of go around and add it around my sign or my centerpiece. Just kind of reach up with your hand like that and curl it under so it's not sticking straight up. Although this is a pretty poofy wreath, so it's going to stick up a little bit. If you have any cut ends, you can just kind of tuck them under very easily, because the nice thing about mesh is it likes to stick together. So it's very easy to tuck any cut ends in that you see. I don't think I have any more of the, yeah, I do, the longer pieces of this one. This is really cute. I shipped out, actually, I just sold my St. Patrick's Day wreath from last year, about a month ago. And I shipped it to her, and I saw that it was delivered, but she never responded. So I always wonder, in that instance, should I like say something? Should I like say, did you get your wreath? Or then I'm afraid she's going to say, yeah, I did, but I didn't like it. So I'm like afraid to like reach out. But the thing of it is that I tell people when I ship my wreaths, I pack them really, really tight. So the ribbons get squished. So I tell them, you're going to need to fluff the ribbons up a little bit. So I hope, I always worry that they're going to say, oh, it's all squished. Just kind of fluff everything up a little bit, because I don't want it to move around when it's, shipping. So I kind of pack it tight. I wish I could like jump out of the box and like adjust their wreath for them when they unpack it and make it look perfect. But that's not possible. I'm just going to put one more ribbon bundle over here, and then I'm going to add some embellishments. I'm not going to add a ton of ribbon on the top here. And then we're going to be done. And you guys can go off and enjoy the rest of your day. I don't think I have any more longer pieces of that ribbon. I have one more shorter piece. I can make that into a bow tie. I can make it work. I hope. I think I'm gonna glue my sign onto his tummy because it seems to be moving around a little bit. I'm just gonna add a little dot of glue. I'm gonna add a little dot of glue right on his tummy just so that sign doesn't slide. Just press that for a minute there. What time is it? 3:39? Almost done here. So I think I'm done with the ribbon for now. Do I have another pipe cleaner up here? I don't think I have another pipe cleaner, but that's okay because I have some ornaments I want to add. A couple ornaments and a couple embellishments. Now, these ornaments I got from Craft Outlet, and they came with a little wire string already on there. So instead of gluing it, I'm just going to feed this wire right through the wreath frame and attach it to the wreath frame, because gluing ornaments onto mesh is not a good idea. They don't stay. So if it didn't come with the wire, what I would have done is I would have just fed a pipe cleaner through that hole in the back of the ornament and attached it to the wreath form that way. You're just gonna, the ornament's gonna stay, it's not gonna slide, or it's not gonna come off. If you try to hot glue it, you would think that hot glue would stick really easily to mesh. Trust me, it doesn't. So I just kind of fed that wire right through. I'm adding a little ornament here. I'll get another one. It's always good to add in threes, like a triangle. So I have one up here. I think I'm going to put one over here. Always add in threes. You don't want to pull it down too far because you want it to be able to show and not go way down under your, I lost my wire, where'd it go? It's these Band-Aids, you guys. It's these Band-Aids on my fingers. It's like, it's making it very difficult to do fine-tuned wreath work here. All right. There's another one there. I'm going to put a little piece of glue on this shamrock that he's holding because I want it to kind of sit on top of the sign and it keeps trying to slide down. It's covering up the sign. So I just put a little hot glue on the corner of this shamrock here. There. So it doesn't cover my sign. Very nice. All right, I'm going to put one more of these on. And I'll put this one over here. This one's got a hole in it. He's got a little hole. I'm not going to use him. He is damaged goods. You can use this method for any theme. If you don't want to use St. Patrick's Day, make Easter, summer, 4th of July, whatever you want to do. All right, 3 ornaments. And I have something else here I want to add. I got these from Michael's. I got these from Michael's a couple of months ago. These cute little picks. So we'll put a couple of these on. And then we're going to call it a day. Get the sticker off. These are really super cute. They have these little spirally things and the little hat. And 4-leaf clovers. So let's see. I think I'm going to put one down here. And I will glue these in, but I just want to make sure they're placed where I want them before I glue them. And I actually was going to show you guys something kind of neat. I didn't have a chance to do it with this class, but there's a way you could take a round piece of styrofoam, adhere it to the back of your wreath form, not necessarily glue it. I haven't gotten to that point yet. I have to figure out the best way to secure it. And I think I have a piece over here that I bought. It's just a round piece of foam. And you can stick it to the back of your wreath form. And so when you're putting your embellishments in, like this pick, you can actually stick them into the styrofoam through the other side. So you don't have to worry about gluing your picks in place. So I thought that might be kind of neat to try. It was just like an idea that I had. And I think I maybe even have seen somebody else do it. Because I know if you're me, you've tried to add picks a few times and glue them, and sometimes the glue doesn't always hold, again, because the glue doesn't really stick to Decla mesh as good as you'd like it to, or you would think it would. All right, I have one down here, and I think I'm just going to put one up here. Maybe I'll try that with the next wreath I do. I think I'm going to try it first on my own before I show you guys in case it doesn't work. So I think I'm just going to put this one up here. I'm not going to glue it yet. I'm just going to stick it in and see how it works. But see how if you stick it through there, and if you have that styrofoam on the other side, I'm thinking just stick it right into the styrofoam. And nothing's going to come out. You don't have to glue it. That's it. I got to hang this on my wall, and then I might move some stuff around. It's kind of hard for me to see if I like how something looks until I actually have it on my wall. A lot of times I'll hang my wreath on my wall after a class, and I'm moving stuff around, and I'm adding stuff, or I'm taking stuff away. So there he is. What do you think, Miss Connie?
I think it looks great.
He's super cute.
It is super
Debbie.
cute.
So we had a nice small little class this afternoon.
I have to take
Tomorrow,
pictures.
I think tomorrow is the bunny. We're going to do the bunny finally, the chenille bunny with the yarn, so that'll be fun.
Oh, yeah.
But there we go. Thanks, you guys, for hanging out with me. A nice small little class today.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it.
Good, Devin. You got to go try this now. I think you'll like this method.
I think
Yeah, I like that method too. It looks good.
You've tried it before, right, Connie?
I have. Yep, I have.
I love it. All right, I'm going to go hang him on my wall and probably move a couple of things around. I'm not sure yet. That's usually what I do. All right, guys. Have a great afternoon.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Connie. Bye, Debbie.